and I'm going to show some of these glitches. Some of these that should have been fixed a long time ago, because I'm going to do this step by step, inch by inch, just to show you exactly what the hell is going on. Alright, and you could do this with a sniper rifle. I think you do with binoculars too. Did I just fall? Alright, I'm not through the map. Alright. Simply push start, go GCM. We are going to take a sniper rifle. We're going to load it into our crafting menu. And I'm not going to even make ammo for the damn thing. Alright, so we're going to go down. I'm going to move it into my hotbar. I'm going to do this. I am tired of freaking making notes after notes after notes after notes after notes of this shit going on. Alright. Normal walking. Now, if I get booted, it's because of an error from doing this. Alright? Normal walking. We are fine. We are just doing dandy. I could sit here and do this all freaking day. But watch this. Speed. Speed. More speed. Wait for it. Did they fix this? I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll keep doing it. No frame rate drops every time I'm doing this. So every time it's going into the camera, it's trying to register. Eventually, it is going to boot me. Because everything trying to load in, that's why you're getting the frame rate drops. So if you look down the scope when you're doing this, and you notice it's significant while you're flying, and you see frame rate drop even through the scope, is one potential error that's in the game. And for everybody who has, you know, seizures, stuff like that, fair warning now. Let's get some ammo for it. Because I can. But yeah, that is one instance of where the game could fail you. Because of significant frame rate drops while trying to do that. Yes, you're not supposed to do it, but you can obviously tell that, yes, it is there. At least that is fixed, so we ain't got to worry about an issue with that where you end up touching the ceiling and instantly dying. Alright, let's try doing that while trying to kill a creature. I don't care if, and game saves are still ending up corrupted too. I don't get why that's still a thing. We have floating rocks. You know what? Out of the kindness of my little heart. Moving stuff in the hotbar. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. So when you're moving stuff from your inventory to your hotbar, you'll get booted. Trees floating. We got trees floating. We got rocks floating. We got bushes floating. Frame rate drops when quick scoping after moving it so fast in GCM, but that's a them thing. Here's the other thing too. I don't know why they would do this, but you know when you had Ark Survival Evolved, get it right, especially with the whitelist. I mean, yeah, people are going to cheat because, well, I don't know if they have a problem with Wildcard, whatever. you know, that's up to them in Wildcard. It doesn't freaking bother me whatsoever. But as far as VOD and everything else, that's stuff admins need. Especially when trying to deal with other players and stuff like that. So removing of certain commands will cause errors and issues in the game. So instead of actually fixing the issue, they would remove it and create other issues that are also needed of certain, you know, commands, stuff like that. GMCP, I think that's also one that's been broken. GMCT is also broke. Alright, so single player does not work. Alright, let's try, we'll save the game. Let's try non-dedicated. We'll try that non-dedicated. We'll get this item moved over. Another sniper rifle. So single player is fine. Single player should be good as far as that is concerned. But I want to try to do it in non-dedicated. See if that issue has also been fixed. So we'll put that in there. Save the game. We'll exit to the game. Go back in. Seeing if it's going to be fixed for non-dedicated. This may be like an online playability issue or something, but you know, single player, it seems okay. So we'll go GCM. Put the sniper rifle on. Redo the ammo. See, we're going at a snail crawl. Fix that. Go speedy, go speedy, go speedy, go speedy, go speedy. Mind you, that was in water. I was able to shoot my gun in water. I don't know if that's a thing. Or if that should be a thing. Because I know you couldn't be able to shoot a shotgun and stuff in the water. But yeah, if I do error out, it's because I'm doing this. Alright, so now I cannot shoot my gun. It is in the water. Fully submerged, but yet you could see when I did it earlier, I was able to shoot my gun. In the water. I will find as many freaking glitches as I can because this is ridiculous and this game should be, you know, dealt with. Nope, okay. So we're out of the water, we're shooting fine. But watch this, watch this. Let's do this again. In the water, shooting. Can we get it to even work without GCM? We'll test that now too. Oh, I gotta get another one. I broke it. Alright, so we'll come out of this. We'll drop this. Hopefully I don't get frozen out because moving inventory sucks ass because it'll freeze you. Alright, Mind you, this is GCM. Move fast, move fast, move fast, move fast, move fast, move fast. Uh, 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 uh. So yeah, GCM, shooting in water, works, but then doesn't work. I get it, you're in creative mode. But if you're in GCM, it should not matter. So like if I reload my gun, should be able to continually shoot in the water. In some instances it will work, and in some instances it will not. So if I leave my gun like this, all right, I cannot shoot. All right, I cannot shoot, but I am in GCM. I shoot whether I am in GCM. You know, if I'm not in GCM, this should not be firing my gun. But here I am in GCM. This should be continuously shooting this gun, no matter what. All right, so we're all the water. We're shooting. Reload. Not shooting. But you end up moving fast enough. See that frame rate drop right there? Another thing, as far as GCM goes, durability. This is my own opinion, whatever. But there are some things of this game that need to be addressed. When you are in GCM, and basically you are in, creative mode, whatever. Weapons and durability should not be lost. It creates issues, which, I mean, there are, holy crap, I did not see that right off the bat. But yeah, GCM, there are a lot of issues. Frame rate drops when shooting the sniper rifle. Used to crash the game. I made a mention of that. At least that has been patched, but there are still frame rate issues when it comes to that. So it still can possibly crash your game, even if it's been patched, because frame rate drops actually inevitably crash games. All right, another thing I have an issue with is this right here. All right, so if I place this down, all right, we'll just do it randomly because it doesn't matter. So if I place it down and I go to cosmetics and I want to place this down for that, all right. While this is here, view download cosmetic mod. Okay, I am holding triangle, right? You get this prompt. It tells you to go back. It'll take you back to the screen. Okay, so I push cancel. Now watch this. Triangle, X. You don't get the prompt. As far as that is concerned, that should not happen. All that stuff for the information on the mod should be, those little tags on the items should be removed. if you want to actually go and look at the stuff for the mod, you should just be able to exit your game and then go in, take a look at it. The game is not going to go anywhere. This is unnecessary. This will cause problems. Okay? So we will remove this. Another thing that's an issue, and what is it? Okay, that's a sniper rifle. I'm not even worried about that. So another issue is when you are moving stuff from your hotbar to this bar here. I don't know what happens. I am not 100% sure, but there is an issue from where you are moving stuff from your inventory to your hotbar. I have had many errors from that happening during the course of the center being downloaded. The last death markers is another glitch that is happening. When I hold square, that should remove that indefinitely. There should be no excuse to where that if I leave the world, it shows back up. So we'll do that one too. We will save the game and exit. Go back in the game. Non-dedicated. See, right there. Even though it's disappeared, it is still located on the map. After it has been removed, it should also remove it from the map. And it doesn't. It constantly tells you where your last death is. Which is obviously my last death was right in here. I should be laying on the table. There is also a drop issue. I am holding L or pushing L2 to drop this stuff from the inventory, so the body will pretty much disappear. It is not doing that. Go into the bag. There's nothing in the inventory. The bag should not even exist. So that covers 4 issues and 4 errors. And I thought I had a bed down in here, but I guess I don't. Or do I? And it's not just appearing on the map. No, I moved the bed. I removed the bed. So we will get... Yeah, just trying to find an area for a bed. So we'll put, just for namesake, we'll put the freaking bed right here. So that way we have one. Alright. Are there any other issues that I have noticed? Yeah, we'll get rid of this because it's unnecessary because it's broke as fuck. Oh, the color on the lights, even though these were supposed to be implemented for the game, inside the game, that's why you don't really see, you know, the mod selection for, them to be active in-game for your mods, is because these were supposed to be implemented into the game. So, yeah, here, I'll show this one too. Alright. So you have a standard light, right? You have a standard light. You're going to go into the options and you're going to do the primary color, which will turn red. The light, however, still stays white. All right, so we'll go into the. We'll do blink slow. Doesn't work. We will go into alternate. We'll go low. We'll go into alternate color, red. The color does not turn red. So we will go into target color. We'll make that 2, just to dim it. Dimming works fine. Okay, so the dimming works. And we'll also make this high. Alright, so we start the party. Blinking does not happen whatsoever. Stop the party, start the party. High interval. Primary color. Primary. Color of the light does not change. Change it to medium. Change the light to go fast. Change to go high. Color on the light spectrum does not change. Alternate color to, we'll go parent color, and then we'll change it to blue. Primary color red. The light does not change color whatsoever. Stop the party. Start the party. Turns it off. Turn it back on. Color of the light still is white. Does not change. So that's issue number 2. This is also going to be an issue for when you use this. Do not hold triangle. Do not, while you are holding triangle, do not press circle. It will boot you from the main menu. So that is one thing you do not want to do. While this is also modded, this does not have that prompt to where you do not have this, which is, alright in my book, because this should not have that menu, as far as also this should not have that menu. If you're going to have this in the menu, then you are opening up a can of worms. This should be removed and should not exist. If people want to look at the mod, they can simply go out of the game and look at it that way. Another issue I am also having with this game, the constant rework of the map. Alright, so here's the map, what I've uncovered just by flying around. So if I at any time have an error, a serious error, the map will wipe and I will have to recover the map, and I will also have to recover my notes. So all the notes that I gathered from the island and from Scorched Earth are now completely gone. This is going to be a pretty much not a continuous thing. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it does not. But if I go in, alright, and this should happen to every single command that's in here to where they are working 100% properly all the time. If I go to give myself Explorer notes or get, what's the other one? The other one should be, you know what? It shouldn't really freaking matter because both commands, even though there should be one command that does the freaking trick, should be it. So if I go to, the problem is that you have too many commands that do the same thing over and over again. So they need to stick with one command and do it that way. As far as doing like GMCP, GMCP. Okay. Another thing that's missing here, which Survival Evolved got right, is whitelist. I made that person, clear the last time. So we have GM Summon, which GMC. GM Summon, or GCM? GCM. Alright, so we have GCMP and GCMT. These commands, both these commands, should not be a thing if this is the main command. This command is also the same thing for this command, and this is the same thing for this command, which you can actually just do this command if tuned right by just looking at the player to give them this command. Why have three commands that do one operation when you have one command already here that does everything? While somebody is in GCMP, I don't know if it's fixed yet, but I will do another video on that to see if it's actually fixed or not. GMCP gets GCM to another player by looking at their ID number, putting in their ID number for the int 64. The int 64 is the code which is right here. GCMT I think also works the same way. Not for sure, don't quote me on that. But if you have GCM, GCM should be a spectrum for all of GCM instead of GCMP, GCMT. If you are going to put these two commands in, you should have a whitelist. If you don't have a whitelist, these commands technically will not work. The reason for that is if you do not have a whitelist, to put your other players or your trusted individuals in a whitelist to use said commands, the commands will not work because there is no whitelist to put them in that category. Ark Survival Evolved had it right when there was a whitelist. A whitelist should be implemented if you are going to have these two commands. If you do not have a whitelist, these two commands should be removed, and this should be the primary command to give another player GCM. Why work harder when you can work smarter? You have so many commands in this list. So many commands that double down. Double down. Summon, I get. Okay, you want to summon a wild dino. That's fine. GM summon to actively, tame it. That's fine. But that's another thing too. I should test that too because GCM summon on non-dedicated was not properly working either. That might be fixed though. Let me out. Oh, that's another thing I found out too. Hold on, I'll get to that here in a minute. Alright, we're going to go GM summon Rex character, and we'll go. I wonder if this is fixed. Because I know when I was in another world with a friend of mine, she would summon in the Rex, but the Rex would sit there and attack her while it was GM summoned. So I wonder if it's with another player active or what. We'll have to test that, or if she's just typing in the command wrong. That could be it too. I'm not for sure, but yeah. We will go through the fidelity of it all eventually. All right. So that does work. I don't know if she's putting in the command wrong or whatever. That might be a thing. All right. So that has been worked out. Oh, another thing with structures. So like if I'm going to be I had to readjust some of this stuff. So if I summon, we'll just summon a freaking Rex. Doesn't freaking matter. I want you to damage my structures. That's what I'm looking for you to do. Alright, does not damage structures, alright. So I had to readjust that. Oh, wait! Was that me? No, that took out the light. Alright, so, okay. Okay. That's a good thing that it did that. Alright. So here's the thing. Here's the kicker. If I go into settings, alright, I go to advanced, or is it advanced? Alright, I might have to exit to do this. Alright, so we'll exit out, and we'll go all the way here, and we'll go into mod lists, and this is something I tested a long time ago. Why are dinos continuously doing damage to builds when you spoofed? Alright, so we go structure. Damage is at 0. So, okay, so this is for spiked walls. Alright, that's fine. So we go to advanced, and we'll go to... This is something else I test, and there's a lot of testing that I've been doing that I've noticed issues with the game. All right, so we have structure decay period, which is at 1,000,000, and we have dino decay. Disable dino decay and disable structure decay. So we have extra structure prevention volume. So that disables building in specific resource areas. We'll have that on. Because I do not want to build in, really good enriched areas for stuff like that. So we'll go in here. Where is that? Decomposition time, daylight cycle, building resource. Destroy dino food, disable photo. Auto start, auto timer, disable structure, decay. Click cave flyers, cave buildings on. So yeah, if you haven't, if you just joined in, I already covered like 4 other glitches that are going on with this game. I'm about to find out why dinos are creating structure damage when the structure damage is set really high. When before it was set so high that creatures could not do damage at all, and now it's just doing damage to buildings. So they are flip-flopping with their advanced settings on Arc. So crafting skill, food quality, food, and it just destroyed a light if you watched previously also too. Platform. Where? Game rule. Structure. Alright, so that is 1, and it did 300 and some odd damage to my structure. And the light source is how much? I mean, it could easily be placed back because I'm just building through GCM. It's fine, but it should not. If I have it set to where it's not supposed to be doing damage at all, that is exactly what it should do. And here's the light source that was taken down through Rex. But yeah, okay, so we have a light source that has 500 health. 500 health. It did 300 and some odd damage to my light, and it took it out within 1 bite. Why is that a freaking thing? That light should still be standing. Place another one down. See if that's just an error. 500. 472. Why is it taking structure damage when the structure damage is off? So that is taking structure damage, but everything else is not taking structure damage. Why is that a thing? Let's go. So there is a bug right now with structures. All right, let's go. $10,000? Okay, that should have been doing some damage. If that's the case. Light post? Shotgun does nothing. Tool? Why is that? Why is that a thing? Structure damage should appear or should be a thing for all structures and not just for one in particular. It should be an instance for everything if you are taking damage. However, but if you have it turned off, that should be void of damage. That should be void of damage. That should be void of damage. Everything that is built here should be void of damage. That also took no damage. But lights, which are pretty much a structure, are taking damage. Do vaults take damage even though it's off? No. No. Do barrels take damage even though it's off? Yes. Why? Chairs do not. What? Tables do. What kind of backwards piece of bleh is this? Alright, so chairs do not take damage. Tables do not take damage. Storage boxes take damage. The piano takes damage. But all these are structures, and the structures the dummy takes no damage. If damage is turned off for structures, it should be, like I said earlier, it should affect everything. Not just what you want to cover and not to cover. Everything that you build is a structure, whether it be a light, a chair, a table, a piano. So that's broke. That's broke. That's literally broke. So even if you have structures off, they can potentially come and kill your lights, kill your tables, kill your pianos, kill your barrels. Hold on. Refrigerators. Let's try refrigerators. We'll try bins. Kill your storage, even though structure damage is off. So let's go to the brewing barrel. No. Okay. Cooking. Yes. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? That's a thing. That is not. What? That's a structure. That's a structure. That's pretty much a structure. 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 Everything in here. Grills? No. That? No. No. What? I don't understand why everything is so freaking broken in this game. I don't get it. Storage? That, yes. let's go into tech. We'll go this storage. No. So while other storage is exempt, other storage can be damaged, even though that the rating for the damage should be at nil, 0. Why is that a thing? This should be set up for PvE, and the damage should be nil to none, because the damage should be off. Why is my structures taking damage when the damage is off? That makes no sense. But yeah, if anybody has a clue what's going on, the comments section should be open. But if not, then it's whatever. I will find a way to get it back on. But yeah, some structures can be damaged, while others are exempt from taking damage. So does that mean, okay, if I go do this light, no damage. What? That's a light. That's a light. Why is that exempt? Why is that a thing? I just shat myself. So yeah, building structures, okay, we tested that, that's fine. Lights, lampposts, etc. Let's try lampposts. Takes no damage. So that is far less better than that, even though that one looks nicer. That's just me. I really like this light compared to this one. It just, I don't know, something about it just bleh. Okay, so if damage on structures is off, we tested that, that takes no damage. Beds. I don't know if I hit the bed or not. I should test it on the beds too, because structure damage should be off on everything. Okay, crop plants. Trials take damage, even though they're not supposed to. Smithy, wood table takes damage. So yeah, if you are in PvE and you try to make a PvE server, understand that even though you have it turned off, your stuff can still be damaged. Beds? Yes, beds can be damaged. Even though they're not supposed to. But building pieces and other certain building pieces will not. Okay, hold on. Bunk bed? Should not matter on the structure, because a bed, by any other name, is still a bed. A bunk bed does not take damage. Why is this a thing? I can hit this thing all day. And I'm going to show this side by side. Bunk bed. No damage, no damage, no damage, no damage, no damage, no damage, no damage. Crap, crap, losing my bed. Oh no, losing my bed. Why is that a thing? That is still a structure, even though that is still a structure. And structure damage should be off. Alright, so we'll cover that. That is that portion of it done. So yeah, notes, dinos are still bugged. Map is still bugged. FPS drops while using GCM and quickscoping is still bugged. There's frame rate drops all over the place, but it seems like it is running stable. However, it does not mean that you still will not get kicked. Shotgun, let's see, what was the other thing covered? Oh, structure damage. Even though structure damage is off, structures are still taking damage. Other key factors of admin commands are still broke. Oh, and another thing, you can't really, I don't think you do this anymore. I could be wrong. She had to leave. Okay, yeah, so that does work. Alright, so host commands are broke as fuck. There is no whitelist. Where a whitelist would be enabled to where you could tell who has the commands or who is administrator or not. GMCP is still broke from what I can tell. We have not tested that recently with everything that's going on. These two commands should not exist if this is the main command, where the whitelist is needed for an administrator or an admin to be able to use these commands and place pieces down on the ground in order to help build bases. If they were given that command, then they should be on the whitelist. If they were not given that command, there should also be a blacklist to where you can actually permaban the player. The whitelist and the blacklist are both missing. I don't care whose feelings you gotta hurt because the base is on color, but there is a reason why it's called whitelist, and there's a reason why it's called blacklist. And if you can't get over that fact, you need to seek professional freaking help. A whitelist is so that way they could tell who has the commands enabled on their freaking console or on their PC. A blacklist is to tell the admins on the freaking computer and or console that they have been permabanned from ever using administrator and or being on the server. That is why a whitelist and a blacklist need to exist. What are they going to call it? Floof list? Rainbow spectrum list? Straight white guy list? No. There is a reason why it is called whitelist, and there is a reason why it's called blacklist. And until they change the coding on how everything operates, that is the way it's going to be. I am sorry. That is coding 101. Whitelist, blacklist. That even goes for servers. And if it hurts a snowflake's feelings, I am not sorry. Get over yourself. It is not about you. The world does not revolve around you. The world revolves around everyone. Don't give a shit about your race, creed, color, religion, etc., etc., etc. But when you make it about you, there is a problem. And the problem is you. So, some structure storage will not take damage. Also, some other storage will take damage, whether it be, wood, metal. I'm pretty sure is a different factor, but it should not be. Well, that would have metal in it, so why would that take damage? There's a freaking piano, for Christ's sakes. So even though that's wood, that still takes damage. Alright, so we'll go. How about we go? We'll use a stronger tool. And we go GFI. Then 0, 0. 10. And on. Whoa! That's interesting. My damage on these structure pieces should be freaking off. Alright, so that's spike walls, stuff like that. I can put that back at 1. Flyer speed, maximum difficulty, that should be on. I don't know why that's off. That should be at max. Hardcore. Unlimited respects. PvE. Disable structure decay. Structure decay period. Flyer carry. Extra structure prevention volumes. Disables building and that's for okay. No permanent diseases. Allow K flyers. Dino decay. Respawn interval. Respawn interval check. Structural prevention resource radius. Daylight, night time, spoil time. Item decomposition time. Harvest health. Resource respawn interval. Crop, poop, mating, leg, egg. Disable imprint. Harvest, miscellaneous. Clear XP, creature XP. Yeah, we need to get rid of the whole freaking level cap bullshit too. Can only have 4. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. So wait a minute. Structure damage was removed? No item downloads. Show creative mode. Disable loot crates. Structure damage should be, at least you would at least think in this section. World. Speed multiplier. That's for taming. Speed leveling. Maximum difficulty. Damage. That's for spiked walls. Spiked walls and turrets only. Max count dinos. That doesn't even freaking work. I could set to 6 and still be spawning in the same amount of dinos. Insufficient resources to repair. So we need 3 different settings now in order to ensure that nothing gets damaged? Why? Has anyone over in Wildcard ever heard the phrase, work smarter, not harder? Technically, this food is not even for me, so it doesn't freaking matter. I don't give a rabbit's butt. I can stay in there. But yeah, has anybody over in Wildcard, I have to ask this, has anybody ever, heard or coined the phrase, work smarter, not harder? Why is 3 different settings needed to stop decay on buildings? Why is that a thing when you could just use 1? That would make it so much freaking easier. Oh, and you can go away. And why is Tech Cave still broken? Wildcard, I gotta ask that. That was the other one that I was going to mention. Tech Cave is still broken. I have actually tested this with another character. Even while building it, whether in GCM or just normally, I was not able to get any element and or the chibi or on Scorch it worked fine. I was able to get the costumes and everything. Scorch is fine, but on the island, I'm still having issues where Tech Cave does not award you chibis and or element. My character will be there. That works fine. But as far as getting awarded the element and the chibi for defeating all three, or all, you don't have to defeat all three stages, but for all three stages, I was not awarded anything. Why is that still broken? I guess that's still a thing too. I don't get that, and I don't understand why shit just cannot be fixed. Error after error, and I put in report after report that this stuff is still broke, and some of it at least has gotten fixed, but not the mainstay. I suppose I should be happy with that, but it's the matter of the fact and the premise behind it and what they plan on doing with it, even though the game is still broke. So yeah, lighting issue, structure issue, these three different freaking whatever, who's was it's in the freaking main settings just to do these structure commands when they could just simply use one to turn it on or turn it off. You ain't gotta freaking use a whole freaking slew of other commands to turn it on and turn it off. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Just go into the main rules and have it to where it turns structure damage on or structure damage off. It will make it a lot more easier for players to find out what they need to do and how to stop structure damage from happening. Whether you be on PvP or PvE, either way, that rule should be in the main rules and not somewhere else where somebody has to go digging for it. And you have three separate rules for that. Why? There's no reason for that. Administrator commands have been found to be broken. GCMT, GCMP, GCM works fine, but GCMP, GCMT are broke as fuck. I'm just going to keep it 100%, 110%. They need to be worked at, hashed out, and looked at, because why use three separate commands when you can use just the one? Blueprint summoning, I mean, some people can use it, but it's a long string of text that actually one command can just fix. And well, you have summon commands and you have GMC summon commands that actually give you levels. And as far as painting the dinos, whatever color, I mean, yeah, you could use blueprints for that, but the only thing is you could paint it your goddamn self. I understand people are going to be lazy, but here's the kicker. You're going to type in a very long command to get the color you want and waste more time doing that than just painting it yourself. Region colors are a thing, and that's why they made region colors a thing for Ark. You want to use a blueprint, that's fine, but I'm just telling you right now, there is a shorter way of doing it, and you don't need blueprints in order to do it. It's a waste of a command prompt, and you could be fixing other commands and getting rid of those commands, the specific, terminology to make it better for like region colors, stuff like that. You don't need like up to million freaking commands to do a single freaking job. Tools and stuff, you want to color your tools, that's freaking easy. Just make the freaking die. Oh, but I want to waste more time by making a blueprint. What would be the purpose of that? That's why there's GFI. That's why there is, other things such as finding beacons and stuff out in the world where you can get actually good freaking gear from, looking at beacons, stuff like that. There is no need for up to a million commands to do one single freaking job. One job. It's a waste. It's a complete waste of space for a game that you could actually fix down the line and add other commands that would make more sense than having 6 or 7 commands that do one of the same job. There's no need for it. Hell, with getting rid of some of the commands that do the same job over and over again, you could have it to where the graphics look better, to where you actually see a rainbow coming from the waterfall. You give the graphics a better TLC because you're getting rid of other commands that aren't needed. Graphically, you could make it. I mean, right now you could tell that it's a blotchy mess just by looking at what the waterfall does with the lighting every time the sun moves. But yeah, if you look at the waterfall and you look up at the sky, the TLC and the optimization of that could be so much better. But yeah, you have a whole bunch of freaking commands that do one job of 6 of the same thing. Why? There's so much optimization you could still do. But I know, they probably won't do it because it's Wildcard. And with me being a low-end channel, they probably won't listen to that either. But it's fine. I'm just calling it out for what it is. And these bags. These bags, even though they are filled with nothing, should not be even here. There is no inventory. There's nothing in them. It should not exist. I don't get why it's still a thing. Yeah, I will say it again and again and again and again and again until they fix it. This game is a buggy mess. And if you want to play it, it's fine. But I am forewarning you now. If you walk into this and thinking that you won't get booted, think again, because you will. So, yeah. I came in here showing everything off that has been fixed and hasn't been fixed. There are some issues like with certain lamps and stuff that should be overhauled, removing the mod listing. For that, for those who do not understand, let me show you again, which would make it a lot more easier. So if you go down here, and this is for the party lights, guys, and for the windows, and you can do that for the windows here. So if you go here, you see this right here? This should not exist in the wheel. If they want to go back and take a look at the mod, that's why the mod exists in the mod list. Why? It's unnecessary. It should not exist as far as on the wheel. And then it takes forever to even freaking load up. Yes, I like the clear glass. I like the party lights. But the party lights don't even work. The glass is fine. The tic-tac-toe table is fine. All that other stuff is fine. The lights don't work. The lights don't strobe the way they're supposed to. The lights don't show the color they're supposed to. And we should not have an option in the main wheel to where you end up getting kicked just by accidentally clicking that to go and figure out what's going on with the lights. You're just calling it out for what it is. We have 3 different spots for structure damage when we should only have 1. It should be in the main rule. But this would create, a lot of problems and issues. This, and there was another one. That should not be there. Okay, we can get rid of that. We get rid of the resistance, and we get rid of the decay. We get rid of that. We get rid of that because that's all decay, and we go into main rules, and we turn structures on, structures off for damage. That fucking easy. There should be no way that, okay, we have to turn that offers, or where is it? That off. We there's no way we need to put that 0. And if you listen to it and you make it, better, it's gonna actually make it better. I'm just gonna keep it 100%. So we have that off, and we have the structure decay off, which is here. Don't need the numbers for the decay period. We could use those numbers, however, for servers. But for single player and non-dedicated, we don't need those. And these are main rules for single player and non-dedicated. Server side, you could have a whole different set of freaking rules. But in-game, not needed. So yeah, you get rid of that. You get rid of that. And you get rid of that and that to go into here to make structure damage on or off. Freaking simple. Same way with the Dino DK, you could do that too in here where you could have it on and off. You don't need 3 or 4 different freaking commands that do the same freaking thing. It's not rocket science. It's called compression, which is optimization for your game. 4, 5, 6 other commands that do the same thing in administrator mode. Why? You call this a remake, but yet you have all these commands that still do the same thing from Evolved. So you haven't really learned anything because you're repeating the due process of what's going on in Evolved, and Evolved is still a buggy mess, and everything that's coming up for Ascended is also still happening in Evolved. Granted, yeah, mods are freaking great. I love mods. I love being able to use other dinos and stuff like that. But structurally, your game is not sound in order to support those mods, and those mods are going to crash your game every single time if there's an error because your game's not fixed. Fix your game before you push out content so that way your game is grounded and your game is working properly. That's all I gotta say about that. Other than that, I love this game. I wish it the best. I will come back to it. I always do because I really do enjoy this game and this game has potential. But you guys at Wildcard, you gotta work smarter than work harder. You haven't learned from your past mistakes, and those past mistakes, when you open other maps, are going to come back and bite you in the ass. Other than that, I'm out of here. Everybody have a good one. I hate bringing bad news, but it is what it is. And I have made plenty of tickets of how there's errors going on, especially with the inventory and moving items from your inventory into the main hotbar slot. I mean, take it for what you will. Test it out if you want. If you notice FPS rate drops and stuff like that, let me know. Comment section should be open. If not, I will figure a way to open it. But right now, I'm not going on YouTube to figure that out. So it should be open. If not, I will figure it out. But yeah, FPS drops. Sections of the administrator code should be reworked. Game rules should also be reworked. Instead of having 3 separate things that do the same job, you should only have one. You could do that in the main rules. That should also cover structure damage, dino decay, stuff like that, to where you shouldn't have to turn on 3 separate things in order to turn off the decay and damage for all that. You could have one set rule for everything, and you could have separate rules for like server stuff. It's that freaking simple. You know, a freaking monkey could do it. Whitelist and blacklist needs to be reinstated, so that way we know who has access to commands and who doesn't, who has been banned. By simply using a blacklist, we can find out if we can bring back players, that sort of thing. But with non-dedicated single player, you know, that's probably a whole separate section. But whitelist still needs to make a return, and blacklist still needs to make a return because, you know, eventually somebody's going to be able to circumvent on how to figure out passwords and get into rooms without having prior access. Evolved had it. I think it's still going on in Evolved. I'm not for sure. I haven't tested that. But yeah, for the last time I checked, people were still able to get in the rooms even though they were running a non-dedicated or single player. Item bags still after being, or item bags after destroying bodies or still exist. Item bags after destroying a body should not exist at all, especially when items do not have, or items are not in the bag. So if items are not in the bag, the items should automatically disappear. There is a issue still with the last death indicator, to where indication of your last death is still present on the map even though you've gotten rid of it. There is a presence and still a problem with the map, and still a problem with the notes and everything that you've gained. If you have a major error in the game, such as like getting kicked, booted, etc., it will reset your map and reset your notes. And I'm not for sure if it still resets the engrams. That could be stretching it a little bit, but it does reset your map and it does reset your notes. That should be freaking definitely looked into. why that's still going on for 3 maps now, the island, Scorched Earth, and now the center, is still beyond me. We are still having issues with um, tech like element and chibis being issued and certain items being issued from completing the tech cave, whether it be either in GCM or in regular mode playing the game. I've tested both fronts, and yeah, that should not be a thing. Um, all administrative commands should work separately, whether it be for people, just to circumvent and go around everything. They should work properly. I don't care if they're using it just to get the notes and get the trophies for it, whatever. They should still work no matter if they are using GCM or if they are working around and getting the game completed normally. Those trophies do not snap at the certain time when the commands are used or when somebody is going around and collecting the notes normally. That should not be a thing. If somebody wants to use the code in order to just get the notes and be done with it, they should be able to. They have that right. They own their game, and whether it's in single player or non-dedicated, they have that right to use that command in order to go around and having to play, you know, a chicken with their head cut off just to find all the freaking notes. It's a waste of time for some of them. I didn't normally going through and collecting all the notes, and even for Bob's Adventures for Scorched Earth, I went around and collected all the freaking notes. And there was gameplay showing all that. So there should be no reason also why people who normally go around and collecting all the notes and everything like that, doing the dino dossiers and stuff like that, and still having issues with the map and the notes. That should be a non-existent thing right now, especially that the third map has been released. If it is still an issue, an aberration comes out, I got 3 words. What the hell? Or, maybe better yet, why the hell? Well, okay, we already covered the whole mod menu thing with the lights and with the glass. So yeah, that's what I tested out so far. I'm pretty sure there's more. If I find more, I'll make another video on it. But it's like I said it in Discord to Ark. I'm going to keep it 100%, 110% real. I'm not going to support a game when a game is a buggy mess and it still hasn't been fixed. I'll keep playing it. Hopefully it'll be fixed. But other than that, I don't foresee it happening. I don't. It could be like a 10-20% that it'd be like 20. Throw a patch out. But as far as I know, they are working on a patch to do something with the textures, whatever. But there are other things in this game that also need to be addressed than textures. So I'm hoping, yes, they do get textures done, but they also work with the other problems with this game. So other than that, when a patch does come out, yes, I will come back to build, but when a patch comes out, I will be doing some streaming on that too to see if it actually gets fixed. Other than that, I'm out of here.